Parents held a family meeting in my house to announce they were giving it to my brother. I put everything in an irrevocable trust instead. Hi everyone. Today's story will blow your mind, but really quick, if you enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button. Channel's been a bit quiet lately, and your support keeps it all going. Let's jump in. Initial post. I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but here we are. I'm James, 27M, and what happened last week has fundamentally changed how I view family, boundaries, and self-respect. This is long, but I need to get it all out because I'm still processing the nuclear option I chose. For context, I work in software development for a Fortune 500 company and bought my house 2 years ago in suburban Connecticut. It's nothing extravagant, a 3-bedroom colonial on 2 acres that needed significant work when I bought it. The previous owners had let it deteriorate, but I saw potential. I've spent countless weekends renovating, updating the kitchen with marble countertops and custom cabinets, finishing the basement with a full home theater system, installing hardwood floors throughout, and turning it into exactly what I wanted. The mortgage is solely in my name, paid entirely from my savings and income. No family money, no co-signers, no help, just me, working 70-hour weeks and saving every penny since college. My younger brother Michael, 25M, has always been the golden child in our family dynamic. When he dropped out of college after 3 semesters, our parents Patricia, 55F, and Robert, 57M, said he was finding himself. When he couldn't hold a job for more than 6 months at any of the 5 companies that hired him, they called him selective about opportunities. When he crashed the car they bought him, his 3rd vehicle in 4 years, they immediately bought him another one. When he got his girlfriend Jennifer, 24F, pregnant last year after knowing her for 3 months, suddenly he was stepping up to responsibility and maturing into fatherhood. Meanwhile, I graduated summa cum laude, worked 2 jobs through college to avoid loans, and have been promoted 4 times in 5 years at my company. My reward? Being told I'm lucky, and should help families since success comes easy to you. 2 weeks ago, Michael called asking if they could stay with me, temporarily, because Jennifer's apartment had mold issues. He swore it would be 2 weeks maximum while they sorted things out with her landlord. Against my better judgment, I agreed. They arrived with their 6-month-old daughter Olivia, 4 carloads of belongings, and immediately, red flags started appearing everywhere. Jennifer complained my guest room was too small for a family, despite it being larger than most master bedrooms. Michael mentioned how the basement would make a perfect nursery if I moved my home office upstairs to the smallest bedroom. They started talking about my house like it was already theirs, discussing where they'd put Olivia's high chair in MY kitchen, how they'd baby-proof MY living room, which walls they'd repaint in a master bedroom once I relocated to the guest room. On day 3, I found Jennifer rearranging my kitchen cabinets because the current setup doesn't work for family life. On day 4, Michael asked for my garage door code so they could come and go freely. On day 5, they had furniture delivered, a crib, changing table, and rocking chair, without asking permission. Then came Thursday night. I just returned from a particularly stressful day at work. We were in the middle of a critical product launch, and I'd been troubleshooting code since 6 a.m. I found my parents' cars in my driveway. Strange, since I hadn't invited them. I walked into MY house to find a full family meeting happening in MY living room, complete with coffee and pastries from the expensive bakery downtown that Patricia only goes to for special occasions. Patricia started immediately, not even greeting me. James, we need to discuss the living situation. What living situation? I asked, genuinely confused while setting down my laptop bag. Robert cleared his throat in that way he does before making proclamations. Michael and Jennifer need stability for Olivia. This house is perfect for them. 3 bedrooms, good school district, safe neighborhood. I actually laughed, thinking it was a joke. The silence that followed told me it wasn't. Patricia continued, speaking slowly like I was a child. You're single, no kids, no girlfriend. You could easily get a nice apartment downtown closer to your office. Maybe one of those modern lofts you young people like. Michael needs this house more than you do. It's about family priorities, James. The audacity left me speechless. They were seriously suggesting I should move out of MY house, the one I bought with MY money, the one I'd spent 2 years renovating, so Michael could live here. We thought you could transfer the deed to Michael, and we'd help you with an apartment deposit, Robert added, pulling out his phone to show me apartment listings he'd already researched. Look, this 1 bedroom is only 20 minutes from your office. Much more practical for a single man. Jennifer piped up, bouncing Olivia on her knee. We've already figured out how we'd redecorate. The dining room would become Olivia's playroom, and that office of yours would be perfect for my craft room. Michael could use the basement for his music studio. What music studio? I asked, incredulous. I'm thinking of getting back into guitar, Michael said casually, as if this explained everything. Patricia pulled out a folder, an actual folder with documents. We spoke to a lawyer friend about the deed transfer. It's actually quite simple. You could even claim it as a gift on your taxes. That's when something inside me snapped. Not in an angry, yelling way, but in a cold, calculated manner. I looked at each of them, sitting in MY living room, on MY furniture that I'd carefully selected and paid for, planning to take MY house like they were dividing up a pizza. Everyone out, I said quietly. Patricia tried to argue. James, be reasonable. Think about your niece. Out. All of you. Michael stood up aggressively, his face turning red. You can't kick us out. We have a baby. It's freezing outside. What kind of brother are you? You have exactly 10 minutes to pack your things and leave, or I'm calling the police for trespassing. The clock starts now. The next few minutes were chaos. Patricia cried about how I was abandoning family, and being selfish with blessings God gave me to share. Robert called me immature, spoiled, and said I'd clearly never learned the meaning of family. Jennifer made snide comments about how I'd regret this when I needed them, how Olivia would grow up knowing her uncle chose property over family. Michael tried the brother card, saying I was ruining Olivia's life, destroying our bond, and that he'd never forgive me. I stood by the door, phone in hand, timer running, saying nothing. They left at minute 9, Patricia wailing dramatically, Robert muttering about ungrateful children, Jennifer calling me heartless, and Michael threatening that this wasn't over. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not from guilt, but from rage at their entitlement. They actually thought they could just take my house. The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. This wasn't the first time they'd pulled something like this, just the most egregious. There was the time they promised my college fund to Michael for his business idea, a food truck that failed in 2 months because he never actually got up early enough to serve breakfast. The time they gave him my car when I was overseas for work training because he needed it more for his job interviews, he went to 2. The family vacation to Hawaii they canceled last minute to pay for Michael's wedding to his first girlfriend that ended in annulment 6 months later when she realized he expected her to support him forever. Every achievement of mine was minimized, every failure of Michael's was excused. When I got promoted to senior developer, Patricia said, well, computers come naturally to you. When Michael got fired from Target for no showing, she said, retail wasn't stimulating enough for his creative mind. I was done being the responsible one who got punished for it. Update 1. The nuclear option. The next morning, Friday, I called in sick to work, first time in 2 years. I had more important things to handle. I called my lawyer friend Brandon, who specialized in estate planning. I explained the situation, and he gave me the most beautiful advice I've ever received. Put the house in an irrevocable trust with specific provisions. Make it bulletproof. For those unfamiliar, an irrevocable trust means I can't be pressured, manipulated, or guilt into transferring my property. Once established, even I couldn't change it without going through significant legal hurdles. The house would be legally protected from any family claims, and I could specify exactly who could never have access to it. But I didn't stop there. I went full nuclear. I spent the weekend documenting everything. Every text message where they asked for money, every email about Michael needing help, every voicemail from over the years showing the pattern of entitlement and manipulation. I found receipts for the car they gave away, emails about the college fund transfer, even recorded voicemails of Patricia explaining why Michael needed my graduation gift money for his emergency, a Vegas trip with friends. I installed security cameras around my property, 8 in total, covering every angle. I changed all the locks, upgraded to a smart lock system that records every entry attempt. I installed a video doorbell and motion sensors. I set up a legal framework that would protect me from any future attempts at property theft or forced entry. Monday morning, I met with an estate attorney, Thomas, one of the best in Connecticut, $500 per hour, worth every penny. We created an irrevocable trust with very specific terms. The house remains mine for life, cannot be sold or transferred without court approval. Upon my death, it goes to a charity for homeless veterans, specifically chosen because they earned their assistance. A named individuals permanently banned from the property, with criminal trespass charges automatically filed. Any attempt to contest results in immediate law enforcement involvement and a $50,000 donation to the charity from my investment portfolio. If I die under suspicious circumstances, a full investigation is triggered before any property transfers. The banned list included Michael, Jennifer, Patricia, and Robert, with provisions to add anyone who aids them in attempting to access the property. Tuesday, I sent a group text with a photo of the legal documents and a screenshot of the new security system. Effective immediately, my house has been placed in an irrevocable trust. The The four of you are permanently banned from the property. Any attempt to enter will be treated as criminal trespassing, and prosecutors will be contacted. There will be no inheritance. There will be no changed minds. Security cameras are active and recording. This decision is final and legally binding. Any attempt to contest this will trigger an immediate $50,000 donation to charity for my assets. Do not contact me again. Then I blocked them all: phone, email, social media, everything. The explosion was immediate and spectacular. They hammered my work email with increasingly unhinged messages. They called my office repeatedly until our receptionist threatened to contact authorities. They even showed up at my workplace during lunch, causing a scene in the lobby. Security escorted them out, and my boss, Richard, personally banned them from the premises, saying, "We protect our employees from harassment." They tried calling my friends. My college roommate, David, told them to fuck off and reflect on their choices. They contacted my ex-girlfriend, Linda, who laughed and said, "Good for James. You people are insane." They even reached out to my high school teachers on Facebook, trying to get them to talk sense into me. Update 2. The family explosion. It's been 2 weeks since I went nuclear, and the family dynamic has completely imploded in ways I never anticipated. I've been getting information through my cousin Sarah, who's staying neutral but keeping me informed, and through Uncle George, who's firmly on my side. Apparently, my parents had been telling everyone for weeks that I was giving them the house. They'd been so confident in their manipulation that Patricia had already told her book club about how they were helping Michael get established in a family neighborhood. She'd actually brought some of them to drive by my house, pointing out where Olivia would play in the yard. Robert had mentioned at work how proud he was that his sons were working together on living arrangements, taking credit for raising us to support each other. When news of the trust hit the extended family via a mass email I sent with documentation, it was absolute chaos. My Aunt Linda called Patricia out at Sunday dinner. "You tried to steal James's house? What is wrong with you? That boy worked himself to the bone while you babied Michael." My Uncle George, who's a contractor and had helped me renovate the bathroom and kitchen, was furious. "I spent weekends helping that kid fix that house. He paid me fairly even though I offered to do it for free. You people are sick. How dare you try to steal from your own son?" My grandmother, who's 92 and sharp as a tack, called Patricia personally. "I'm ashamed of you. I raised you better than this. James is the only grandchild who visits me without wanting something. You've lost your mind if you think stealing from him is acceptable." The family coalition they expected never materialized. Instead, they became pariahs. Patricia's sister Nancy told her she was disgusted by their behavior and uninvited them from Christmas. Robert's brother David said he was ashamed to share DNA with him and removed him from the family business partnership they'd maintained for 15 years. But the real panic came from Michael and Jennifer's end, and this is where it gets interesting. See, they hadn't just been planning to take my house, they'd been counting on it. Sarah told me they'd already given notice at Jennifer's apartment, effective at the end of the month. They'd told everyone they were moving to a family estate. They actually used those words. Jennifer had posted on Instagram and Facebook about their new family home, including photos taken in my house during their stay, with captions about putting down roots and giving Olivia the childhood she deserves. They'd maxed out 3 credit cards buying furniture for their new house: a $4,000 sectional sofa, a $2,000 dining set, designer nursery furniture. They'd enrolled Olivia in a prestigious daycare near my neighborhood that cost $2,000 per month. Michael had even turned down a job offer in another state because they were about to have housing sorted. Jennifer had quit her part-time job because she wouldn't need to work once they lived rent-free. When the trust paperwork hit, their house of cards collapsed spectacularly. Jennifer's parents, who initially supported her, were horrified when they learned the whole story. Her mother, Catherine, called Patricia and, according to 3 witnesses, screamed, "You raised your son to be a thief and a liar, and now my daughter is homeless with a baby because of your greed. She quit her job because you promised her that house." Jennifer's father, Stephen, a retired police officer, was even more direct. He called me personally to apologize and said, "If they come near your property, call me directly. I'll handle them myself. What they attempted is theft, plain and simple." Michael tried damage control by claiming I'd promised them the house. When pressed for proof, texts, emails, recordings, anything, he had nothing. Because it never happened. He then changed his story, saying it was implied, because family takes care of family. The extended family began seeing through years of my parents' manipulation and favoritism. The most satisfying part? Patricia tried to organize a family intervention to talk sense into me. She invited 30 family members to ambush me at my Uncle George's 60th birthday party. She told everyone I was having a mental health crisis and needed an intervention. I didn't attend, but I did send a gift with a note, "Happy birthday, Uncle George. Sorry I can't make it. I don't feel safe around certain attendees who tried to steal my home. Enjoy the new drill set, and thank you for always being honest with me." I also sent an email to all 30 invitees with the security footage of them planning to steal my house in my own living room, the legal documents showing the attempted theft, and screenshots of their messages demanding my property. 28 of the 30 family members left the party early in disgust. The only ones who stayed were my parents, sitting alone in a decorated hall, surrounded by empty chairs and untouched cake. Update 3. The 3-month aftermath. It's been 3 months since I established the trust, and the landscape has completely changed in ways I never anticipated. Michael and Jennifer ended up moving in with her parents in New Jersey. From what I hear through the grapevine, it's not going well. Jennifer's parents are strict: no staying out past 10 p.m., no friends over, mandatory contribution to household expenses, daily chores, and required attendance at family dinners. Michael actually has to work now. He got a job at a warehouse loading trucks for $15 an hour, and Jennifer works part-time at a daycare for minimum wage while her mother watches Olivia. The entitled prince who thought he deserved my house is now living in his in-laws' basement, working a job he considers beneath him, with a curfew like a teenager. Jennifer's father makes him do yard work every weekend and fix things around their house. "If you're living here rent-free, you'll earn your keep," he apparently said. The furniture they bought. Repossessed. The daycare enrollment. Cancelled with a lost deposit. Their car. Repossessed after missing 3 payments. They're down to 1 vehicle that Jennifer's parents let them use, with conditions and a tracking app. My parents' social life has imploded completely. Patricia was asked to take a break from her book club after the president found out about the attempted theft. Robert's golf buddies suddenly became too busy to include him in their weekly games. One of them told him directly, "I don't associate with people who steal from their children." They've become isolated, bitter, and are reportedly in marriage counseling. The church they've attended for 20 years? The pastor actually gave a sermon about the sin of coveting and made very pointed eye contact with them throughout. Several congregants have told them they're praying for their souls. Their neighbors found out through the rumor mill, and Patricia can't even garden in the front yard without getting disapproving looks. The neighborhood WhatsApp group removed them after someone shared my security footage. The extended family has rallied around me in unexpected ways. Uncle George helped me install a better security system with redundant cloud recording. Aunt Linda sends me weekly dinner invitations and has officially adopted me as her bonus son. Cousin Sarah and her husband Brian come over for game nights every Friday. Even relatives I barely knew have reached out to express support and disgust at my parents' behavior. My grandmother changed her will to remove my parents completely and divide their portion between me and the cousins who actually deserve it. She also gave me the family heirloom ring that was supposed to go to Michael for his future wife, saying, "At least you'll marry someone who loves you, not your house." Last week, I received a letter from Patricia. Not an email, not a text, an actual 6-page handwritten letter delivered by certified mail. It was a masterclass in manipulation tactics. "We only wanted what was best for everyone by stealing my house. Family should share resources, but only my resources, apparently. You'll regret this when you're older and alone. I'm dating someone wonderful now. Michael is struggling and it's your fault. Michael's choices, Michael's consequences. We're getting older and may need care someday. Should have thought about that before. Olivia will grow up not knowing her uncle. That's her parents' doing. We sacrificed so much for you, they literally gave away my college fund. This isn't the Christian thing to do. Pretty sure, 'Thou shalt not steal' is in there somewhere." I sent back a 1-line response via my attorney. The trust is irrevocable. Any further contact will be considered harassment. Robert tried a different approach. He showed up at my office with a lawyer, claiming they had grounds to contest the trust based on undue influence and mental incapacity. My attorney, Thomas, shut that down quickly in a conference call that I got to listen to. "Your client has no grounds. The house was purchased solely by James, with no family money. He was of sound mind when creating the trust. I have video documentation of our meetings. Your client attempted to steal the property. I have security footage. If you pursue this, I'll file charges for attempted grand larceny, conspiracy to commit fraud, and harassment. The local DA is a personal friend who takes elder abuse and property theft very seriously." The lawyer actually told Robert, "You need to let this go. You have no case, and pursuing this could result in criminal charges against you." Michael made one last pathetic attempt, sending a long message through a mutual friend about how Olivia deserved better, how I was punishing an innocent baby, how blood should mean something, how he's struggling with depression, how Jennifer cries every night, how they can barely afford diapers. I responded through the same friend, blood meant so little to you that you tried to steal from it. Olivia has parents, let them provide for her. You had a house, Jennifer's apartment. You chose to leave it believing you could steal mine. Every consequence you're facing is from your choices. Stop trying to make me responsible for your failures. The mutual friend later told me Michael broke down crying, not from sadness but from rage that his manipulation wasn't working. He actually said, "It's not fair. He has everything and won't share." "He has everything because he worked for it," the friend replied. "What have you ever earned?" Michael couldn't answer. Update 4. 6 months later, the final update. It's been 6 months now, and I'm writing this final update from my home office, the one Michael wanted to turn into a nursery, while snow falls outside. So much has happened, and I want to document it all before I close this chapter of my life forever. Michael and Jennifer's situation has gotten progressively worse. They're still in her parents' basement, but now with strict conditions. Jennifer's father installed a lock on the refrigerator after they were caught stealing food meant for a family gathering. They have to buy their own groceries now. Michael was fired from the warehouse job for consistent tardiness and had to take a night shift position at a gas station. Jennifer works full-time now at a different daycare because the first one fired her for bringing Olivia without permission. They tried to start a GoFundMe claiming I had stolen their promised home and left a baby homeless. It raised $50 before being reported and taken down for fraud. The comments were brutal. Apparently, someone shared my security footage in response, and they became a viral example of entitled family members. My parents filed for bankruptcy. Turns out, they'd taken out a home equity loan to help Michael with his previous failed ventures, expecting to pay it back once they had my house to sell or rent out. Without that plan, and with Robert being encouraged to retire early from his job due to the embarrassment he'd brought to the company, they couldn't make payments. They're now living in a one-bedroom apartment in a less desirable part of town. Patricia tried one more manipulation. She called my work claiming to be having a medical emergency and needing to reach me urgently. When I called back from a blocked number, panicked, she answered cheerfully and tried to guilt me about not being there for family medical emergencies. I recorded the call and sent it to the extended family with the caption, "This is who they really are." The extended family has completely cut them off. Even Patricia's elderly mother, my grandmother, told her, "You're no daughter of mine. I didn't raise a thief and a liar." But here's the positive stuff. My life has flourished without their toxicity. I met someone amazing. Her name is Ashley, she's a pediatric nurse, and she actually owns her own condo. When I told her this whole story on our 5th date, expecting her to run, she said, "So you're telling me you have boundaries, self-respect, and won't let people walk all over you? That's incredibly attractive. We've been together 4 months now, and she's moving in next month. Her family is normal. They actually respect boundaries and don't try to steal from each other. My career has skyrocketed without the family drama. I got promoted to technical lead with a 40% raise. My boss mentioned that my improved focus and confidence were notable. Whatever you did 6 months ago, keep doing it," he said. The house is thriving too. I finished the renovations I'd put off. The master bathroom is now spa quality, the kitchen has professional-grade appliances, and the backyard has a beautiful patio with a fire pit where Ashley and I host friends every weekend. Uncle George helped with everything, and we've grown closer than ever. Last week, something interesting happened. A process server showed up at my door. Michael was suing me for emotional distress and unlawful eviction. The lawsuit claimed I'd promised them the house verbally and reneged, causing them financial and emotional damage. My attorney, Thomas, was actually excited. "This is perfect," he said. "Now we can countersue for attempted theft, fraud, conspiracy, defamation, and harassment. We have all the evidence." The countersuit was filed yesterday. We're seeking damages for a attempted grand theft, the house value; a defamation, the GoFundMe and social media posts; a harassment, all the documented contact attempts; emotional distress, I've been in therapy dealing with their abuse; illegal fees. Thomas believes we'll win easily and might actually get a restraining order that extends beyond the property ban. Michael panicked when he got the countersuit papers. He tried calling me from 17 different numbers in one day, leaving increasingly desperate voicemails that ranged from threats to sobbing to apologies to more threats. Each one was forwarded to my attorney and added to our evidence file. Final reflection. People ask if I regret going nuclear. The answer is absolutely not. For 27 years, I was the responsible son who got punished for it. I worked hard, saved money, made good decisions, and my reward was to have it all stripped away for someone who refused to take accountability for their choices. The house isn't just property, it's proof of my hard work, my dedication, my success. The fact that my family felt entitled to take it showed me everything I needed to know about their values and their respect for me, none. Some extended family members have asked if I'll ever reconcile. The answer is no. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment decision. This was the culmination of years of favoritism, manipulation, and disrespect. The house incident was just the final straw that broke any illusion of family love. My parents raised one son to be responsible and another to be entitled, then expected the responsible one to subsidize the entitled one forever. They created this dynamic, and now they're living with the consequences. Michael and Jennifer are learning what actual struggle means. No more safety nets, no more big brother to exploit, no more parents cleaning up their messes. They have to adult now, and from what I hear, they're failing spectacularly. Their marriage is reportedly on the rocks. Jennifer's parents heard them screaming at each other about whose fault their situation is. My parents are experiencing social consequences for the first time in their lives. Their reputation is destroyed, their relationships fractured, their golden child moved away, and their responsible child wants nothing to do with them. They're facing the reality that their manipulation has cost them both sons, one through entitlement, one through self-respect. As for me, I'm thriving in ways I never imagined possible. My house is peaceful. My weekends are mine. My money goes toward my goals and my future with Ashley. I'm building relationships with family members who value me as a person, not as a resource to exploit. I sleep peacefully knowing my home is protected by law, technology, and the truth. The trust ensures that even after I'm gone, my house will help people who actually deserve it. Veterans who sacrificed for their country, not entitled family members who felt they deserved my sacrifice. Sometimes the only way to deal with toxic family is to go nuclear. Burn every bridge, salt the earth, and build something better from the ashes. It's not about revenge. It's about self-respect and protecting what you've earned through your own sweat and sacrifice. My family thought they could take my house. Instead, they lost their son, their reputation, their extended family, and their future. And honestly, we're all better off for it. To anyone dealing with similar family entitlement, you don't owe anyone your success. You don't have to subsidize poor choices. You can love family from a distance, or not at all. Your achievements are yours, and anyone who tries to take them isn't family. They're parasites. Protect what you've earned. Set boundaries in stone, or in my case, in legally binding trusts. And never, ever let anyone make you feel guilty for keeping what's rightfully yours. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. My chosen family, Ashley, Uncle George, Aunt Linda, Cousin Sarah, my friends, and the relatives who respect me, are worth more than birth relatives who saw me as nothing more than a wallet with familial obligations. 6 months later, I sleep peacefully in MY house, in MY bed, living MY life with someone who loves me for me, not for what I can provide. My parents and Michael are living with the consequences of their choices, and that's exactly how it should be. The trust stands. The boundaries hold. The restraining order is processing. And I've never been happier. This is my final update. I'm closing this chapter and moving forward with the people who actually deserve to be in my life. Thank you to everyone who supported me through this journey. Remember, family isn't about blood, it's about respect, love, and reciprocity. Choose your family wisely.